everyone, welcome back to the Undercut and welcome to the post-race pod for the Japanese Grand Prix. It was an interesting race, wasn't it?
More interesting than others.
I'd argue it was the best race of the season so far. It was a good race. I think there was a lot of action on track, a lot of overtaking. Not at the front, but you know, midfield to higher pack.
Your midfield was good.
The midfield was very good. So, with that said, three talking points, go.
I hate when you do this to me, man. It's too early.
It's not. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I've been up since 5.
Go on, 3 talking points for the
Three
Japanese
talking
Grand Prix.
points.
What are we saying?
Valtteri Bottas.
Okay.
Mercedes strategy.
Yep.
And Leclerc.
Yep.
And the crash.
The crash. Let's start with the crash because that was at the start of the race. Do you think anyone's at fault for that?
Stroll.
Yeah, go
No.
on. Blame on
No.
blame Stroll.
No one's at fault. I mean, obviously Daniel was looking in the wrong mirror
Yeah.
at the time. He was looking at Stroll where Stroll was. On his left, didn't realise Albon was on his right. Obviously, a little bit of contact, dipped Albon on the grass.
Yeah.
In the wall again.
Yeah. And you can't really blame... You can't blame Albon. There's a gap. He goes for it.
Yeah, no.
But he's not exactly alongside. Ricardo has obviously taken the race in line and he's also trying to avoid Stroll at the same time. Which, to be fair, you can only look in one mirror at once. So he decides to look left because that's where he's racing. Sees Stroll, pulls alongside to the right, hasn't considered the fact that maybe Albon sent one, which he did. They touch. It's a racing incident.
It is.
More than anything. It's not malicious from anyone. It's not reckless. It wasn't like Albon dived it and he shouldn't have. Like, he had every right to throw it down the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a racing incident. Let's talk about Valtteri Bottas then. So Valtteri Bottas, we were saying in the stream actually. So if you watch these podcasts, make sure you tune into the stream because we stream every single race. We were saying during the stream, which was a big topic of conversation, that Valtteri Bottas is actually... He had a very good race, despite where he finished.
Yeah. Very, very, very good race. Had the pace, was up there, battling people, making overtakes, going for it, aggressive.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, he had a very good race. I think it just is.
He's been
Such
let
a
down
shame.
by that car.
Yeah.
And obviously at the end his tyres dropped off.
It's clearly not good on its tyres.
No.
And it's also a really shit car. And the thing is, you've got to consider, I think the reason... We were saying at the end, obviously, the tyres dropped off. I think the reason why they pitted so early was because the tyres were just absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was, poor car. Good race from Bottas, though.
Yeah. Very good race.
Up until Zhou obviously had his problem. He outraced Zhou.
Oh, God, yeah.
And outqualified him. It's just a superior weekend for Bottas. I think it's Bottas showing his class again. It's just a shame that, if you look at the results, it's kind of like...
He deserves points.
He deserves points, yeah. Finally then, the strategy game. Mercedes and Charles Leclerc. Mercedes, obviously, in the red flag.
Struggled a little bit more, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Was it the right call?
Yeah, I think they should have split it.
Yeah.
It should have been a split in terms of one driver does the 2-stop. They ended up both doing 2 stops in the end, but
yeah,
they should have split it the same way that the Sainz, the Red Bulls, and then one of them maybe do an alternate strategy, see where they can get up.
It worked for George.
It did work for George. I think it was whatever driver was in front at one point, it was going to work for. The other driver was going to be let down because of the amount of undercuts, like the undercut time that you could have.
Oh, it's huge.
It was absolutely massive.
Yeah.
So whatever driver was pitting first was then going to gain at least 3 seconds on the driver that's not pitted over one lap.
Yeah, it was huge.
So in that regard, whoever was second driver, in which this case was Hamilton, he was always going to lose out to George, which meant we saw at the end them converged quite close altogether, which meant George was the driver to get that extra position because he was in the position to after having the earlier pit stops.
Yeah. Yeah, the undercut was huge today, and like you said, I think Mercedes should have split it. I think Hamilton would have benefited more from the strategy that Sainz did. And Russell benefited from the strategy that he did because he ended up being able to get on the back of Piastri and Alonso, but Hamilton didn't. So
I think that first stint on the hards for Mercedes, how long they went, even though the tyres were dropping, is what killed their race off.
100%, yeah.
I think if they'd seen that everyone else was pitting, they should have pitted then for the second hards, or maybe pitted them straight away for the mediums and then go to the hards again at the end.
Yeah. It took any sting out of their race.
Yeah, I think
it really did.
I think that first stint kind of killed them off.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have pitted earlier.
And they were just chasing the race after that.
Yeah. Yeah, they were 100% chasing the race. Well, they decided they were falling back and then they were chasing. They decided to chase at the end, which I think was probably in the end they probably made the best call they possibly could.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but I think the damage was done at the start.
Yeah, the damage was already done. It was too late, wasn't it, for Mercedes? With that said, let's go into our driver rating, shall we?
Straight onto it.
Yeah, straight onto it. This is my favourite part of the Sunday, by the way. I love doing the driver ratings. Is this your
favourite part?
I love doing the driver ratings.
Why?
I don't know. Just love doing the driver ratings. Just love shitting on people.
Oh, fair enough.
So, we'll start with, obviously, we go... The way this works, if you are new here, we go from 20th to 1st in the race results. We rank them 1 to 5 based on their performance. 1 being absolutely dog shit, and 5 being pretty much couldn't have done anything else, did nothing wrong, right? 20th, Alex Albon.
One at fault for the crash. Qualifying, where did he start? 14th?
He did well. He outqualified Sargent.
Optimal. Would you expect that from Albon Q2? Probably.
Yeah,
You can't. It's a 3 because he's done exactly what's expected of him.
It's a 3. It's a 3 for Albon. I don't expect any more than that.
No,
it's not. It's not amazing, but obviously, he's not at fault for the crash.
Yeah,
he can't do anything. It's just it's hard to rank Albon. Yeah. Daniel Ricciardo. I think it's got to be the same, hasn't it?
He got outqualified by Yuki.
Not by much though.
It was close. Obviously, Yuki got Q3. Ricciardo got 11th.
It's better from Ricciardo because that's where you.
It was a close knockout.
It's where you expect him to be.
It wasn't at fault for the crash.
No. If you get knocked out by your teammate, because we always say this, if you get outqualified by your teammate, it's, your score gets affected. But if you do get outqualified by your teammate, when it's that close, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's very marginal.
Yeah.
So
you've got a 3.
I give Ricciardo a 3 again. There's nothing else he could have done that. No, absolutely not. Guan Yu Zhou.
Shit quali.
I have to give him a 2.
Very bad quali, but he was running an alright race until the problems.
Yeah.
I think his race is saved. It's a 2 because of how bad that quali was.
Yeah.
And he only did like a quarter of the race max.
Yeah.
But he was having a good race. Like he could have, if he finished the race at what he was doing, it could have been a 3. He could have saved it.
He could have saved it. It was a 2. The race wasn't. The quali was awful. And to be fair, we say, getting out qualified by a teammate. Bottas whitewashed Zhou this weekend.
It was an absolute whitewash.
Zhou should be doing better. He needs to be closer to Bottas. Especially when the Alpines are as slow as they are. Logan Sargent's still on the grid. You can't be qualifying 20th. I'm sorry, it's not acceptable.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Logan Sargent, speaking of.
See, I expected where he was in quali, but he was still shit. Still miles off Albon.
Yeah.
He was running such a good race. He was running a great race, and then he made a mistake.
He
got
pulled
too wide on the curb and locked up.
He pulled some really good overtakes.
Brilliant.
And I do accept that. I don't think that Williams was quick.
It's not amazing. No,
It was
I
not
don't
quick
think
this
it was
weekend
quick.
at all. It was not keeping up with the Hasses. It
No.
was not. I don't even think he would have kept up with Bottas.
Albon would have struggled.
Albon would have struggled as well, I believe. But he was only 15th? Was he 15th when he made the mistake? But by
no,
that point,
further up. He was further up.
was he further up?
He was further up.
Was he ahead of Bottas?
No.
So he was 15th.
No, but Bottas then dropped.
Oh yeah. So he made the mistake.
But he was in that pack, wasn't he, with Stroll,
Yeah, he was.
Anderson, Yuki, Bottas. It was all
He was
six
running,
of them all
he
together.
was running well with them. He really
was in that and in the middle.
It would have been a 3 for me because that's what you expected.
He would have been a 3 for me as well, but then he made a mistake.
Yeah, so it's a 2.
Is it a 2 though? Because that mistake has just sent him last.
But the way I view it is, it's a 1 if there's points on the line, because points are crucial for Williams, especially Logan Sargent. But there weren't points on the line. I don't think Sargent is getting near the points.
No, there wasn't points on the line.
So,
it's the mistakes.
This is what I mean about Sargent. It's constant.
So when points do come on the line,
well, it's a 1.
Williams going to rely it.
Well, this is what I mean. You can't rely on Logan Sargent to get your points. I think this race proved why they put Albon in the car for Australia. It's proved why they did it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you got to be harsh about it. It's true. Pierre Gasly. It's a 2 from me. It's not good enough. He got out qualified by his teammate.
Is it a 2 though?
Yeah.
Is it a 2?
Yes, it is.
Is it a 2 though?
Yes.
No, but is it?
Yes.
Is it not a 1?
What? Well, no, there's nothing more he can do.
No, but out qualified by his teammate.
Yeah.
By quite a bit.
Yep.
Miles behind his teammate in the race.
Yep.
Was running last, barring Logan Sargent's problem, he would have been dead last. He's done fuck all. He's miles off his teammate in both quali and the race. It's not good enough. He's got to at least be with Ocon.
Yeah, but he's not binned it.
No, but how far behind Ocon?
He was like 10 seconds.
Like, that's too much.
Yeah.
That is far too much.
No,
after quali, no, I'm giving him a 1. I'm giving him.
I don't think it's worth a 1.
It's a 1.
It's not worth a 1. It's
a 1 from me. No, I'm being harsh. I'm not having this.
No, no, because 1 is exclusively for people who have really fucked it.
He has fucked it.
There's nothing more he can do. All he can do is finish in front of his teammate.
And he's nowhere near the whole weekend.
It's not like Ocon's scoring a point and Gasly's still last.
30 odd seconds behind the midfield.
Hey man, if you think that car's got something else in it, then that's fair on you.
I think it's got something.
I don't think it's got that.
No, I'm not saying it's midfield worthy, but I'm not saying it's 30. It's not 30 seconds because you got to remember, Gasly and Ocon have been no more than 10 seconds behind everyone else, if not in the midfield for Ocon and cases at Saudi. They've been thereabouts. They've not been 30 seconds, but at some point you've got to give the drivers some form of responsibility in terms of they have to maximise. And I think the fact that they've consistently come in last, maybe the drivers are losing the will to race the car, and that is Alpine's fault. I'm not putting it down to the drivers are phenomenal. Alpine have produced a dog shit car. Yes, they're expected last. I know they're expected last. But they're not expected to be 30 seconds behind the midfield.
Yeah, they are.
Not 30 seconds.
You know why?
It's bullshit.
You know why they were 30 seconds off the midfield?
Because they're shit.
It's because they put that blue on the front of the car.
Don't go
They
there.
painted the nose.
Don't go
They
there.
painted the nose cone.
We're
They
not
painted the
going
nose cone this weekend. So
I'm not
maybe no. They're gonna
not
come
shit.
to China and the nose cone's gonna be fucking black again.
But
Bottas finished in front of Ocon, 14th, so only one place ahead, but was in that battle.
Miles ahead.
He was in that battle. Obviously, the car is clearly not good enough. The tyres go off really quickly on that stake. He had to pit twice too early than what I reckon they probably would have wanted to do. But it was the best they were going to do today. Bottas ran a good race. I don't think there's anything more he could have done. Kevin Magnussen. This is a difficult one, K-Mag.
3. Average.
Yeah.
Done what he's done.
Where did he start?
I don't know where he started.
Let's have a look. Where did Kevin Magnussen start? Kevin Magnussen started 18th. Fucking hell, man.
And where did he finish?
He finished 13th.
Two of the drivers in front of him went out.
And Logan made a mistake.
So
it is a 3. You know, he's had a good race there to finish higher up.
And Joe went out as well. And Joe was in front of me.
And he made some pretty good moves.
He was okay.
So
he did all right. I'll give him it. I'll let him off.
Yeah, we'll give him a 3.
I'll let him off. I want to see if the gaps are up, man.
What do you mean?
I'm looking for the gaps.
I've got the gaps here.
How far behind was Ocon?
It doesn't say.
Oh, I've done 6 fucking laps.
What? Just leave the Ocon thing alone, man. Move on. We've got other drivers to rate. Fuck me.
Yeah, I can't accept a 4.
I don't give a shit.
I'll accept a 3, but I'm not accepting a 4.
I'll give him a 4. Doing it just to piss you off now.
Right.
Lance Stroll. Now this is one where we will agree, I believe.
Will we?
Yes. What are you giving Lance Stroll today?
Just a 2.
Just? In which way?
In terms of lower.
What, so almost a 1?
Oh no, I'll give him a solid 2. He's not a 3. He's not a 3. It's a solid 2 because that quali was the worst one I've seen.
Yes.
The quali was the worst one I have seen.
Yeah.
The race.
He had a good race.
Yeah, but you got to think 3 cars went out. He was nowhere near Yuki at the end, 10 seconds behind.
Yeah.
From 10th.
Mm.
He made great moves, but was that down to the fact that he went to the softs at the end?
Yeah. And also that Aston Martin
compared to and the Aston Martin, as we've seen with Alonso, is miles quicker than that.
Yeah.
He should have been able to cut through that field and be comfortably 10th.
I agree. He ran a good race, but then again, you've got to look at where he started. He should not be...
Started 16th.
He should not be going out in Q1.
3 drivers also went out, 2 of which started in front of him.
He should not be going out in Q1. That's it's unacceptable.
Realistically, he should have been 14th by the end of that lap 1.
Yep.
And then he should just picking them off one by one each lap easily, and he did not.
It's the fact that Alonso qualified 5th as well.
I think if you look at it, if that was Alonso that started 16th, Alonso would easily be 10th.
Yeah.
And mid-race.
And Alonso finished 6th.
Yeah.
In front of 2 Mercedes and a McLaren.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Aston Martin was quicker than the
and he wasn't miles off Norris either. He was only... Well, no, he was quite way away.
It's quite away. That is quite away.
Yeah, but 22 seconds isn't that much when you consider how far behind Stroll was.
It is a lot. Yeah, but I think Stroll's shit.
This is what I mean. It's a 2. That Aston Martin is so...
I think the only thing that's saving him is that last stint with all them moves that he made.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the only thing that's not... Because we say a 1 is someone that fucking bins it, but Stroll might as well have binned it. Because when you're that far behind your teammate...
Yeah.
Like, just, that's fucked.
I have been super harsh to Gasly.
You have been super harsh to Gasly. I think you've been harsh to both of them.
Nah, Ocon's a high 2. Like if we were doing decimal points, it'd be a 2.8.
For me, I think
Gasly I could upgrade to a 2, but he's not going higher than a 2.1.
I think Ocon has to be a higher grade than Gasly simply because Gasly.
Ocon's higher than Gasly today.
Gasly didn't make it out Q1 and
Ocon's definitely higher than Gasly today.
What else do we say? Okay, who's next? Nico Hülkenberg. Oh, you know what? Hülkenberg has had a very solid week. He started 12th, finished 11th,
and then right. Wait, so Stroll finished behind Hülkenberg?
Yes.
Oh shit! Because at one point Stroll was 11th and catching Yuki.
So Hülkenberg must have got back as
well. So Hülkenberg got back past Stroll.
Yeah. It's a low too.
Sky Sports did not show us.
No, Sky Sports did not show us that. I'm just as surprised as you. I had no idea.
Sky.
Oh, and by the way, Stroll was lapped by Verstappen. It's not good for Stroll, is it? You know what? Even
I need to reconsider this too.
Even I'm tempted to give him a 1 because that's fucked.
I am tempted to reconsider now.
That's fucked. Oh, I mean, we expect it, right, from Hulkenberg and all that, but Stroll...
I've reconsidered. I've gone down to 1.
Oh, it's a low 2 for me. Can you get any worse than that, though? Maybe you could.
Not much can get worse. He's been lapped.
Is it what I expect of Stroll, though? I am a bit leaner on Stroll because it's not... You don't expect him to be with Alonso, so maybe that's saving him from being a 1.
I think that's why I'm harsh on the Alpines, because I expect more of them drivers.
That's fair. I just think the car's shit.
Gasly's the car is dog shit. I'm not disputing that.
Let's stop talking about Alpine.
Gasly's
we need to move on, man.
Gasly's a race.
So is Ocon.
Is he?
Yeah, he won Hungary. 20.
They're both race winners. Oh my god.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Hulkenberg.
I'll give Hulkenberg a 3. I think he's just run a solid race, hasn't
he? Yeah. 3.
12th to 11th.
3.
He could have got a point, but no one was touching Tsunoda for that.
No one was yucking Yuki.
Tsunoda. Speaking of Tsunoda, let's move on to Tsunoda. Tsunoda has run an absolutely fantastic race, and I've got to give him a 5.
Yeah, I'm giving him a 5.
You could say, you can't give him a 5. He only finished 10th, but considering
the 9 ahead of him,
the top 10 teams. I mean, the top 5 teams. Sorry, so the top 10, excluding Stroll, are miles clear.
Yeah. 10th
no one touches them.
10th is your best bet.
11th is best of the rest, or considered to be.
Yeah.
So the fact that Tsunoda scored a point, got into Q3, consistently been quicker than everyone else. Obviously, he's not touching Hamilton. He's not touching Piastri. He's not touching Russell. Great race. It's a 5.
It's a 5.
It's a 5 for Tsunoda. And his home Grand Prix as well. Brilliant race.
It is a 5.
Lewis Hamilton. This is a tough one. It's a tough one.
Qualifying was okay.
He qualified 7th.
Qualified his teammate. It's a 3 for quali. That's where you expected Mercedes.
Yeah, it's where you expect the Mercedes to be. He out-qualified Leclerc as well. Bear in mind, he out-qualified
Charles
Ferrari.
had that offset, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So that's a 3.
And he was slower in the race.
He was slower in the first stint of the race, but I think that's because he was trying to eke out his tyres. But it just didn't work. I think the strategy affected both cars. He was thereabouts, caught back up to Russell, that 9-second deficit.
Yeah.
So he's there on pace with Russell.
It's an average 3 for the qualifying. It's a high 2 for the race.
I think it's a 3.
So it works out
give
about
him a 3.
I think Hamilton, moreover than anything, was fucked by the strategy.
Yeah, I think George went all in and Hamilton was conserving, but then quickly realised that the tyres were not working.
Yeah. It didn't. They just wouldn't switch on no matter what happened.
Yeah, and then at that point he was just behind.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oscar Piastri.
Oh.
It's got to be a 2 for me.
It's a low 2.
He made...
If you watch the live stream, you'll see my frustrations with Oscar.
Now, people are going to say, well, why have you given Hamilton a 3 and Oscar a 2? Looking at it...
Look at his teammate.
You look at context clues, right? The Mercedes is nowhere near the front of the grid. Norris was battling Leclerc and Sainz, and even Perez at points for that second place, third place, the podium places.
Piastri couldn't get past Alonso.
Piastri couldn't get past. He was stuck behind Alonso. He made mistake after mistake.
And
even made a crucial mistake on the second to last lap for Russell to get through. You know, he at least had 7th in the bag. He did. Even if he couldn't get past Alonso, 7th was in the bag.
And he mistaked.
But then he made a mistake. And that's a 2. You know, it's disappointing for Piastri. And to be fair, he started 6th as well.
And I've got higher expectations.
Yeah, he started 6th. That McLaren is quicker than that Mercedes. The McLaren, it was even on the pace of the Ferrari. It's quicker than the Aston Martin.
He should have been ahead of a lot. He should have easily have been 6th today.
Oh, yeah. Easily should have been 6th. He should have been 6th and with his teammate. Or 5-10 seconds behind.
He shouldn't be. How far behind is he?
He's a good almost 20 seconds. Good almost 20 seconds behind him. So
it's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough from Piastri. And I hate saying it because I really like Piastri.
I like Piastri.
I think he's a great driver, but
not good enough.
it's not good enough. No, he needs to be closer.
I'm revisiting my Alpines.
Fucking hell, man. Leave Alpine alone.
It's 3 and a 2.
There you go.
I'm not going 4 though. That's
right. George Russell. George had a very good race. I won't lie. He went very, very well. He did everything he could. He started 9th. He got out qualified by his teammate.
As much as possible.
But he did everything he could in the race. You know, he wasn't that far behind Hamilton in qualifying.
His race was a 4. His quali's a low 3.
I think it's a 3 for Russell.
I'm giving him a high 3.
I can't give him any more than a 3, I think, because it's...
No, it's a higher 3 than Hamilton.
Yeah, it's a higher 3 than Hamilton. He had a good race.
Maybe we need to start introducing decimal points to this.
No, because the decimal points is going to come in when you add them all up over a season and take the average.
I hope so.
Fernando Alonso
started 5th.
Yeah,
great quali.
Yep.
Miles over his teammate, but is that down to Stroll or Alonso? Because I think that Aston Martin is thereabouts up there with quali.
It's one of them.
On form of the past 3 races, that's where their quali is.
It's one of them where it's like, do you give him a 4 because of how shit Stroll was, or do you give him a 3 and just say Stroll was absolutely dogwank?
I think Stroll was the dogwank one. I think Alonso's defending this race.
I'm gonna give him a 4. Because it's a low 4, but I'm going to give him a 4 because I don't think Alonso could have done anything more.
I feel this. Alonso couldn't do more, and he did keep Piastri behind, that's why I'm giving him a 4 because that's why Piastri's a 2 because he couldn't get in front, but that's why Alonso's a 4 because he kept him behind.
And if
it was Piastri, the other way around, it's a 3 and a 3.
It's a 3, both 3, yeah, because you expect that McLaren to get in front of the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
You expect the Aston Martin, realistically, in this race to finish 7th. Just in front of the Mercedes.
You would expect them in front of the Mercedes,
Piastri in front of Alonso.
Yeah.
But Alonso did well to hang on. We know that the Aston Martin doesn't have as good a race pace as quali pace. We've seen that over the last few races.
I think it's
evident.
They've progressed upwards though. They're not as bad as what they were in Bahrain race pace wise.
But I think it's clear, given Alonso's performance today, it is also partially down to Fernando Alonso as well.
Yes.
So I give him a 4, low 4, but a 4 nonetheless.
Yeah.
Lando Norris.
I think he maximised that car to the brink.
Yeah.
Qualified P3.
Did he qualify P3? He did.
Great quality.
He did.
The Ferraris had better race pace. It was clear to see.
He did everything he could. But I'm giving Lando Norris a 3, not a 4, for one simple reason: he made a few mistakes.
He did make a few mistakes.
There was a few mistakes where I feel like,
but
if he irons out those
if he didn't make that mistake, the Ferraris would have still been through. The Ferraris would still be through. The mistakes didn't cost him anything at all, and they weren't catastrophic mistakes like Piastri. It wasn't huge lockups. It was a little bit onto the rumble strips.
No, yeah, maybe I'm being a bit harsh.
You're being very harsh.
Okay. I'll give him a 4.
You're doing a me on Ocon at that point.
Yeah. I'll give Norris a 4 then. I mean, there was nothing more he could do, really, was there?
No.
He's had a good race. He's had a great qualifying. He's extracted everything out of that McLaren.
Yeah.
And obviously, we know the Red Bulls and Ferraris are superior.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like Australia, though, in a way, wasn't it? Because Norris fought Leclerc for that second place with everything he had.
Yeah.
Even though there wasn't much battling, he was
enough.
pushing Leclerc to every last lap he could. But it's just not enough.
Speaking of Charles.
Yep, Charles Leclerc. Very good race from Charles, by the way.
Phenomenal race, for them, especially their medium stints.
Yeah.
Wow.
Phenomenal race from Charles.
I think his race started 8th. I think his race is a 5, but his quali was shocking.
I mean, it's his mistake in quali.
Well, it wasn't. It was, but it wasn't. He didn't put in a good enough lap in Q1, which then meant he had to use an extra set of tyres in Q1, which meant he only had the one set for Q3.
Yeah.
which meant that's why he only did that one.
So it is his mistake.
But he didn't make a mistake on the lap. He was just slow.
I'm gonna give him a high 3. It's not quite a 4 because of his qualifying.
It's quite.
But the thing is, though, I want to point this out. If we're going off expectation, which I always try and do, you expect Charles to finish.
Charles to be top 5 in quali.
Yeah, and you expect him to finish top 5 in race. So he's had a good race, yes, but you expect him to.
But from 8th with the one, you got to remember he did the 1 stop. Everyone else did 2 stop.
But what I'm saying is, if given that pace of the Ferrari, which is slightly faster over 1 lap than the McLaren, Mercedes, and the Aston Martin, if he doesn't finish 4th or top 5, are we saying it's a 2?
No.
Bad weekend.
No, because of the strategy he was on. He's the only driver that did the 1 stop.
He did a 2 stop.
Charles?
Yeah, Charles did a 2 stop.
He did 1.
He did 2.
In medium to hard.
Are you sure he did the 2 stop? Oh no, he changed his tyres in the red flag, didn't he? Or no, did he not?
Maybe. He might have done an extra set of mediums in the red flag. But he did the 1 stop race. Whereas all the others stopped twice.
It's a phenomenal race from Charles.
He did the 1 stop because the red flag was on the first lap.
Okay, the being able to hang on to his tyres as long as he did does boost him up.
On the mediums as well. Not the hards. He didn't hang on to the hard. It was the mediums he hung on.
I expect Charles to finish top 5 in that race.
I expected him to finish top 5. But if he'd finished 6th on the 1 stop, you got to take the fact that he did the 1 stop and everyone else did 2 stop into account, because the 2 stop by far and away was the quicker strategy.
Yeah, if he did the 2 stop and he didn't finish top 5,
then it's a shit race.
Because he did the 1 stop. To expect him to make places.
Finished 4th ahead of Norris, not million miles off Sainz.
No, he did do the 2 stop because he pit again and then came through on Norris, didn't he? Everyone else did everyone else do a 3 stop?
No.
Oh, no.
Not Norris and Leclerc pitted at the same time.
Oh shit, they did. Yeah, Norris came in too early, didn't he? Yeah, Norris came in too early. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Leclerc. It's a high 3.
I'll give him 4.
I don't know. I think the quality drags it down to a 3 for me. Because it's his fault.
The fact that he qualified ahead of Russell still.
Yeah, but he got. No, he didn't. No, he did. Yeah, but he got beat by Hamilton.
I know he got beat by Hamilton. Yeah, but Hamilton looked quick yesterday in quali.
And that's testament to Hamilton.
Yeah.
But that Ferrari should be beating the Mercedes.
It should, yeah. And I think the quali's a 2, but I think his race today might have been a 5.
His race was very good. So it's a high 3.
It's a low 4.
Yeah, it is around there. Yeah. Carlos Sainz.
Qualified 4th.
Yeah, qualified 4th.
Another podium.
Finished 3rd.
Another great race.
I mean, this man's on
fire.
fire.
Can't do nothing more. The only thing I'd say, should he have beaten Norris in quali?
Yeah, it's the only thing that's not a 5 for me this weekend. It's a 4th Carlos Sainz.
It's a high 4.
High 4. He did everything he could in the race. The strategy was good. The pace was good. He was on pace. He was maybe slightly apprehensive at the start of the race. Could have maybe challenged Norris a bit earlier, made it a bit easier for himself.
Yeah, but
he didn't. It wasn't easy for him. He didn't control that 3rd place. He had to fight for it. It was a hard fought battle, and the only thing that really drags it down is his qualifying. Really.
Yeah, he should have beaten Norris.
Yeah, should have beaten Norris, but 4 anyway, comprehensively. Sergio Perez. It's a 5. I got to be honest. I am surprised.
The fact that I'm giving Perez a 5 for finishing 13 seconds behind his teammate.
No, but I mean,
it's madness. But that's where you expect it.
I mean, over
especially
how many laps?
Japan as well.
Was it 53 laps?
Yeah.
13 seconds.
Yeah.
If we pull out,
you've got to remember Japan and Max Verstappen. He finishes 20, 30 seconds clear almost all the other races.
If we pull out the calculator,
oh, for fuck's sake.
It's only 0.2 a lap that he's lost. So he's 0.2 a lap slower than his teammate.
And he had traffic to come through. Let's bear that in mind after his pit stops.
So on average, Perez is 0.2 a lap slower than Max.
Yeah.
It's a 5. That's where Red Bull. That's the ideal window that Red Bull need Perez to be in.
He's secured second by quite a way.
He's controlled that 2nd place for most of the race. He's been quick. He was on the pace.
making mad overtakes.
Making mad overtakes. He throwing it into 130R into the chicane. Doing the fastest lap from time to time. Made the strategy work. Made it easy for Verstappen. There's no... And also, by the way, shout out to his qualifying. Almost put it on pole.
Yeah.
Almost fucking put it on pole.
He did. Good luck.
Fucking hell.
He had a good weekend. He had a very good weekend for Paris standards.
That is where Perez needs to be. Like, if you go to Red Bull, where do you need your second driver to be in comparison to Max Verstappen? I bet you that is where they say it's. If he's any closer to Max this weekend, there's a chance he's challenging him and potentially maybe upsetting Max's race a bit.
Yeah.
But that's not what Red Bull want. Red Bull want him to be just in that window. If he's any further back, he's with the Ferraris. But if he's any further forward, he's with Max. That is the perfect window for Red Bull, and it's 5. Speaking of 5s, Max Verstappen, 5 again. I mean, what else can you do, man?
Yeah, I'll give him a 5.
I mean, you can't really say anything more, can you? Max Verstappen dominated. It's what you expect from Max.
No one touched him. The only difference that we've seen this race is he wasn't a pit stop ahead of everyone. He actually had to overtake 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, which is quite nice to see.
Yeah.
For once.
That was something at least.
But you got to give him a 5. I mean, it's Max Verstappen.
Put it on pole.
Put it on pole, wins the race. Yeah.
Just,
I mean,
saying.
if he didn't put it on pole...
I'm just saying, if that wasn't a pole...
Is it a 4?
It could be a 4.
It could be a 4.
It could be a 4.
It could be a 4. Yeah, I mean, 5. Okay, then, give me a driver of the day.
Well, first of all, I do want to say...
Yep.
Russell is under investigation still.
Oh, is he for pushing up? Oh, fuck that, man.
That was investigated after the race, so it could change, but I expect it to just be a black and white flag for Russell.
My score is not changing.
But it's not changing dependent on that, no.
No, because that if
it promotes Oscar, but Oscar made the mistake. So. But if that is a penalty for Russell, he puts him behind Hamilton again.
But if Russell gets a penalty for that, I blame the FIA for being wet wipes. That's such a shit.
It's not a penalty.
Shit thing to get a penalty for.
I don't think it's a penalty.
No, it's hard fair racing.
I just wanted to say that he's still under investigation.
If this, because the podcast comes out on Monday, so obviously it might be out by then. Well,
it will be out by then if it
whether
is or
whether
not.
he is or not. Okay then, so your driver of the day, Mr.
My
Jack.
driver of the day.
Your driver of the day.
Yuki Tsunoda.
Oh, Yuki Tsunoda.
I've been to the gym.
Shoulder.
Everything hurts.
Yeah, I mean, hasn't Yuki got the driver of the day 3 times? No, twice.
I think he's got it because it's phenomenal his past few races. He has been.
For you, Yuki Tsunoda's been driver of the day twice, Carlos Sainz once, and Oliver Behrman once.
Yeah.
So Yuki's having a phenomenal season.
Has that not been the same for you? We had Sainz first one.
Yes.
You had Behrman. You had Yuki Australia.
Yeah.
And what's it today? How's it not Yuki?
I was going to give it to Yuki.
You were, and then I said Yuki and you want to go somewhere else.
No. I want to say Yuki. But...
How's it not Yuki?
I'm going to give it to Sergio Perez.
I think Perez, it's a close second.
I'm giving driver of the day to Sergio Perez. I think Perez wholeheartedly deserves
The only thing that stopped me from Perez is the fact that you're giving it to Perez because he's actually not been shit. do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the reason that you're giving it to Perez because he's done his expectations for once.
Well, no, because our thing is driver of the weekend, isn't it? It's not driver of the day. Our thing.
Well, Yuki's driver of the weekend still.
Yeah, of course he is. But what I'm saying is,
yeah, I know.
Perez.
I know, but you're giving it Perez for hitting his expectations. Essentially, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, but if he was hitting his expectations, it'd be a 3.
No, but
he's had a fantastic race.
Yeah,
no,
yeah, but he's had a fantastic race because all the other races he's done is shit.
Hey man, listen.
No. That's why.
No. I think there is other factors that he deserves.
There's
the overtakes.
Yeah, there's other factors.
Almost putting it on pole.
There is other factors, but let's not beat around the bush. Today was what you expect from Perez to do, was it not?
It's the very highest of expectations of what Perez. Like that.
And that's something to still finish 12 seconds, 12, 13.
No,
behind
no,
the teammate,
no.
yeah.
Anyone that finishes 12, 13 seconds behind Max in the same car is doing a great job. Unless, obviously, you're another number one driver. But, if you're put in that car to be a second driver and you're finishing that far behind your teammate, 0.2 a lap, it's perfect.
I'm not disputing he's a contender for driver today, but I will dispute the fact that he is a contender of driver today because we haven't seen a performance that good from Perez in a while. And just got to remember, that was his first front row start since Miami last year.
Yeah, it was. No, qualifying's never really been Perez's strong suit. So
no, so I'll accept this driver of the day, but let's also look at the whole picture. It's the first time in a while he's not been shit.
That's fair enough. No, he's been good this season, on average.
All right at Bahrain. Okay at Saudi.
Good in Saudi.
No, Australia was.
We have our reasons for him not being great in Australia.
He has got reasons.
He has got reasons.
But you got to remember, last season, the first 4 races, he was thereabouts with Max.
Yeah.
So we'll take it with a pinch of salt. Miami was his downfall last time. He's got China to come before Miami. So
we're waiting for Miami this year.
Yeah, let's wait and see.
No, I'm going to give it to Perez, I think. Yuki very much does deserve it, though.
Yeah.
I'm not salty about that. That's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not salty about Perez.
Okay, so then who is your flop of the weekend? There's only one man it can be. Once again, Lance Stroll. You can't. There's no other way of putting it.
I think that's the second.
It is it. The first one was Saudi, wasn't it? I believe. Yeah.
Saudi was a flop. Who was Bahrain's flop?
I can't remember. I think it was it Logan?
Yeah, we did give it Logan, but we didn't know the extent of his issues.
We didn't know his issues by then, did we? So it probably would have been Stroll.
No, Stroll did a great Bahrain.
I don't know that. We can't amend that now because it's too far away to think about. But yes, Saudi Arabia was Stroll's first flop of the weekend, and he's got it again because
I think we didn't give it to a driver in Australia, did we? Just gave it Merc.
Oh yeah, we gave it to Mercedes in Australia. You could give it to Mercedes again, but I think they managed to pull it back with George at the end and Hamilton closing in on that pack. Mercedes were awful.
I think the only thing that's saving Mercedes from another flop of the weekend is Stroll.
Yeah, and George getting past Oscar at the end, I think saves him.
And Logan.
Yeah. Contenders, Logan, Mercedes. Alpine is a collective.
Alpine. I think it's got to be a flop of the season's Alpine.
Flop of the season, bro. We were saying they were flop of the season before the season even fucking started.
They're the flop of the season.
Alpine is so wank.
Alpine. I genuinely do think it gets to a point, like, in all honesty, where the Alpine car is the worst car by a mile. But there is a point where they're even further behind because the drivers have not got the will to live in that car no more.
I don't think anyone would have the will to live to drive.
No, I know, but there will be a point where the drivers are just flopping it because they can't be asked, and I think we have to take that into consideration sometimes.
I don't think that's yet though.
It's got to be started. I would have given up by Bahrain. To be
Imagine
honest.
if Piastri was in that car. Imagine if they signed Piastri like they were meant to.
I know.
That'd be crying.
That would have
Piastri.
been pain, yeah.
I'll bet Oscar's glad he's in that McLaren.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's been it for the post-race pod for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
Any final thoughts?
No. It's bedtime.
It is bedtime. Oh,
that's been going on a while.
Yeah, but we've had a good discussions. It's been one of the
I think
more
it was
longer
like
ones.
a 20-minute argument on Ocon.
Yeah, it was. We've had one of our more longer pods this weekend.
Yeah.
But there was a lot to discuss from this race because it was. To be fair, it was a good race. I'd even argue it's the race of the season.
A little bit more jam-packed.
It was the race of the season so far, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, good race. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, obviously, for more F1 content. We're almost at 100 subscribers, so if we could get there, that would be absolutely awesome. Make sure to leave a like on the video, post notifications for more, and also make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Links in the description down below because we post our shorts on there, like clips and highlights and stuff and reactions. So make sure to do that as well. Fucking
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Videos Wednesday. Video Wednesday. probably on Sky Sports, and how shit they are. See you in a bit.